Today, let's talk about active pickups. Why do I love active pickups? First of all, let me get this out of the way, but I love every single type of pickup there is. I love single coils, humbuckers, passive pickups, what have you. I just love all types of pickups more or less. But lately I've been getting more and more into active pickups, and I'll tell you exactly why. I've used medium passive pickups most of my life because I find that they give you the most output without a lot of noise to it. I've ventured into high passive pickups from time to time, and I've always wanted to get into them more and more because a lot of my favorite artists always had high passive pickups. And every time I've bought high output passive pickups, they've always had a crap ton of noise to it that I really did not like. I really loved the output, but the noise just drove me insane. And so when I ventured into the world of active pickups, I realized a lot of people on the internet say that they're very sterile, which I can agree to a certain point, especially EMGs. I find them to be more dead sounding than the Seymour Duncan Blackouts, which isn't exactly a bad thing because the trade-off you're getting really is the high output along with the low noise with active pickups. If you just went straight to Seymour Duncan Blackouts, I think you would be very impressed with the sound of an active pickup, more or less. Those were the pickups I bought when I ventured into my active pickup experience, more or less, and I really like the Blackouts. They just give you a crap ton of output with low noise, and you get that nice big sound to it. It sounds very open to me, especially for an active pickup. It wasn't only until I bought the Jim Root guitar and I realized that EMG pickups are just not as good. I like them, they're just not as open as the Seymour Duncan Blackouts. I think that's where a lot of active pickups get that sterile stigma from. I really don't get that kind of vibe when I play the Blackouts. I'm just like, wow, these are freaking lit on fire with tornadoes going around. It's just insanity when you play the Blackouts. But when you play EMGs, they definitely have that kind of choked back sound to it. Another thing people complain about with active pickups is the lack of dynamics. I'll give you that. You can't really do a whole lot of like Jeff Beck or the kind of stuff you would hear in a country rock band. But for metal and hard rock, these things do all the dynamics you really need. You got your maxed out gain, more or less, and you can talk it back and you can get a slight crunchier sound to it if you really need it. And if you really need that kind of clean sound with a distorted channel, you can get that too. It's just you're not getting the micro intricacies of a pickup, say like with a Stratocaster, where you can radically change the tone as well as get really fine dynamic play with your volume knob. Personally, for me, that trade-off is great because I play hard rock and metal, so I don't really need all of that stuff for me. It would be overkill. And if I really need the dynamics out of my pickup, then I really have a couple macro options, more or less, that work just fine for me. If you've never experienced playing with active pickups or you just have very limited experience with it, I would highly suggest trying some out. I'm just really getting more and more into it, especially if you play hard rock and metal, because it's catered almost exclusively to those players that really don't need that type of thing. It would be like trying to tell a metal guy that he needs to use single coils, which he doesn't need, you know. Maybe back in the 70s when rainbow was a thing, but nowadays humbuckers have basically taken over the metal industry. If you have little experience with active pickups or you have no experience with active pickups, I would highly suggest buying or trying just a bunch of brands out there that interest you and see what you like about them or what you don't like about them, and just come up with a good opinion of active pickups as a whole. I think they've surpassed a lot of their myths more or less over the years, and I think more people need to just experience the active pickups we have today and just try them out.